Wait a minute, y'all. Let's breathe. Let's breathe first. Wait a minute. I'm just coming in. So I'm just coming out my bathing suit. It's my last week of my vacation. I'm at the beach chilling. So this young man walks up. I'm not going to expose his name because he allowed me to see his ID and know that he's telling the truth. All I'm saying to you, Empress Nola, is be careful who you're talking to. Remember, you're on 138 square miles, and I got people that love me just like you got people that love you. Now stop it. Stop it, powder lady. I know who you are. You can't be that stressed out and wasting all your energy on trying to find somebody to take natural out. So listen, he walks up and he says, excuse me. He said, what's your name? And I said, why? He said, you got a YouTube channel? And he took his phone. I said, yeah, that's me. That's me. NaturalsTribe. Natural. He said, wow, do you know Empress Nola? I said, no, I don't. Because I don't know her. Besides, I did business with her once. And my friend that does spices next to me knows her very well. But we won't talk about that. So, I said, what? He said, she tried to pay me. He said, this is what happened. He said he was in a shop ordering something in a line, right? And he says, she was there in all her cowrie shells, beads. I know what he's talking about because she wears all this African garment. She wears a lot of beads and things like that. So she kind of stands out in that area. When I first seen her, I was like, oh, wow, your beads are nice, because there's not a lot of people on island that have, you know, beads of that nature. You have to have been exposed to something. So, he said she was not talking to him. Like he said, he was behind her in the line, and she was asking this other guy to take me out, describing me to him. My booth number in the market, the tall Rasta girl, she was just describing me, or think she was describing me, because that ain't even a description of me. But anyway, he said he was minding his business, but she was there. But he said he could tell that the guy she was talking to realized the unaddressed mental health. And we're going to be gentle with mental health, because I'm a mental health therapist for many, many years, like 13 years. I can see it walking down the street. I knew it was coming around the corner when I was dealing with her. But we're going to be gentle with it because mental health is real. But we ain't going to play with the fact that you know what you're doing. Mental health or no mental health. So you ain't going to get off so easy. So he said he mind his business. But the guy, you know how you talking to somebody and they just turn around, almost like disrespectful, turn their back to you while you talking? That's what the guy did to her, because he peeped that it was unaddressed, right? So now she's talking to his back. So she turns completely around, her body completely around, almost like a exorcism, completely around. Now she's in his face and pretty much said, will you do it anything you want? Please come to my house. Come to my house. He said he went to her house. Anything, food. He said he was kind of skeptical about the food because he now can see that it's unaddressed. And but he said he drank and ate, and she said, do you do drugs? Do you do cocaine? Anything you want. I just need you to hurt her bad. I said, well, how much did she offer you? He said she was leaving the price up to him, to call the price. I said, why didn't you take the money? He said, because after she took me to your Facebook page, showed me your cute little tiny house, color, this and that, and this, and she was talking shit. She was telling him that I'm walking around here like I'm some kind of big, rich, I said, really? I'm just as humble in my little shit, just as grateful in my little shit. Bitch, you can have the same. Oh, excuse me. You can have the same if you work hard too. Stop that. But we ain't going to do that, because we're talking about unaddressed mental health. We ain't going to start doing none of that shit. So I take that back. So she was talking shit. So I'm walking around here like I'm some kind of big person. And I need to be executed. And I said, you should have called the price. Matter of fact, you should go back and get that money. and going back to because she Gary send you into a fire zone. I said, you wouldn't know where you was coming. I said, what if you would have took the money? He said, I thought about it. I'm even thinking about going back and telling her, okay, give me the money and be gone. I said, you should do that. He said she was going on like she had any kind of money he want. US dollar, bam, bam, bam. Empress Nola. Now, let me tell y'all what happened between me and Empress Nola. So she came and bought a wire wrap bracelet. And then she came back to me sometime afterwards. I don't know how soon. But anyway, she came back to me. And she said, here, I think you need to be getting together a refund. This is just how she approached my get together. And I'm going to be honest with you. The bracelet looked like a mat truck. Every time I see a big mat truck on this island, I'll be like, how the hell a truck that big get on this little island, right? Because it just don't fit. It looked like one of those ran that sucker over, and I ain't lying. I know what it is when something ran something over. I know when something... Anyway, she came to me, you need to be getting together a refund. I said, Empress, didn't know nothing about no Nola or nothing. It's just that I address kings, queens, gods, goddesses, and Empress. That's what I'll call you, and I don't really give a crap about your name. But if I can see something in you. And I try to respect everybody. I said, Empress, let me tell you something about me. I said, my business just turned 14 years. And I haven't had no whole bunch of comeback. I think one young lady, this is the story I told her. I said, one young lady did come back to me, and that sucker was twisted up like crazy. And I said, sis, come on, tell me the truth. Like, what happened? What happened? And after I drilled her, I didn't have to drill her. I said it like 2 times. She said, Natural, I got to be honest with you. She said, my kids got up on my dresser, and they twisted. I said, baby, go ahead and take another one. That's who I am. Come to me. Anybody can vouch on this one that has ever dealt with no Kukai tribe of naturals business, right? I had a guy, I just sent 6 bags. He sent me $200 US dollars for sour sap leaf. And guess what? He didn't get it. When I get to America this Friday, guess who's going to be the first one to get 6 bags? Here you go. I'll deal with the post office because this says out for physical delivery, and that's where the tracking stop. Oh, we're going to deal with that postmaster, but that's on me. He's going to have his. I told him you'll have yours Friday. Matter of fact, can you meet me here not far from the airport? That's who Natural is. So when she walked up with this nonsense, I said, sis, I don't have a problem giving you a next one. I don't do refunds. Matter of fact, take 2 of them, I told her. Now, I don't even know if she heard any of this because the bitch went off. I said, take 2 of them. Pick you out 2 nice ones. But, wait a minute. You going to tell me what happened to them bracelets. That's all I asked of you. What happened? What happened to the damn bracelets? I said, did your grandchildren come over and just go on your dresser and fuck it up? I said, did you have that young boy hanging off the chandelier, swinging, and then when he caught onto that bracelet, it was too late, and she lost it. Well, come to find out, she does like young boys, and I hit a spot. I hit a boom. You know how you arguing with somebody, and they hit a spot? And then are you either going to choke them or are you going to walk away and save your own damn life? Well, she lost it. I know you don't want me to get loud in this market. I said, bitch. I said, everybody in this market is crazy as P-H-U-C-K. P-H-U-C-K. Everybody in this market, including me, I said, everybody gets a turn. So I said, I was just the other day practicing mother skunt. Or mother cunt, because I said I know my time's coming, right? That's what me and my girl next door to me was laughing about this shit, right? She said, "That's you crazy." So the girl next door, my friend next door, she said, "Sister, did she sell it to you like that?" She said, "No, she didn't." She said, "Well, why you bringing it back like that? All she asking you is what happened to it. You just said she ain't sell it to you like that. What happened to it? It didn't just fall like that. What happened? Did you try to rearrange it yourself and you realize you can't bend wire all back and forth and got all fucked up. Just all I'm asking you is what happened to it. Take you to them, sis, and go about your business. I don't want to. You don't want me to get loud. I said, honey, you gonna be the only one looking stupid. I said, we all gets loud in here. Everybody gets a turn. I said, I love loud sounds. We got a sister over here. Her mental health don't go right, or she don't get her medication. That or runs all the tourists out of there. Can't nobody make no money. I said, honey, we enjoy this shit down here. This is the real Grenada. When tourists come here, I say, do you want to be a tourist or do you want to visit the real Grenada? They say the real Grenada. Guess where I take them? Right downtown. I said, bitch, what you think you're talking about? For real. That's how it got. She stormed out there. I couldn't really hear what she was saying. But she was turning a whole beige color because she got all this powder on her face. I call her Powder Lady. I didn't know she was no Empress Nola. So when he said to me, Empress Nola, I said, no, I don't know that name. I said, I don't know who that is. He said she wear powder on her face. I said, oh, shit. It ain't even makeup. Makeup's beautiful. I ain't into no makeup. I'm into my natural skin. But I've seen some beautiful makeup. This only got makeup on. She got powder. So I said, either you going to blow some of that dust on me or going about your business. Don't be stupid, Nola. Let us help you. That's all I'm saying is don't be stupid. So if anybody's watched up until this point, help Empress Nola. Because somebody going to take your money and you ain't going to get no results. But I'm inviting you to come. You know where I am. Come. You know how to, I'm not hard to find on 133 square miles. Come. We can meet in the park and we can get it on. Because you great hurt yourself. So I'm going to tag everybody that should be tagged. If something happened to Natural, all that dust on your face. I'm going to tag everybody that need to be tagged because they're coming for your ass. You need to know that. Empress Nola, we love you. Get yourself together. Medicate that shit. Fix that thing.